Hey, we're live on Facebook. We're recording. I was late today. I am sorry, everybody. I haven't even looked at what my hair is doing. Oh my God.
You look fabulous.
Looks great, Julie. Looks perfect.
You're looking fierce as ever.
I wore yellow today. Yellow's not a good color, I've decided, for anyone to wear.
You look good in yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the
Not
can't
for
wear
everyone,
yellow
Julie,
myself.
but for you.
There you go. Okay, we have got, I know I've said this almost every week, but man, oh man, there's some good stuff coming out in the next, like, tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Next couple weeks. It is like the fall. Get ready to read, everybody, because there is just a ton of great stuff out there. So Gabe, do I have you set up where you can share the screen? Yep. So we're going to go with Gabe, Tom, Andrea. I show it Gabe, Andrea, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I have to be last today.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. So with that, Gabe, start us off with some good recs. Oh, we can't hear you though.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear Gabe. But you're not muted, so this is really odd.
No.
We heard you a second ago. Nope, still can't hear you.
So we have technical difficulties.
What else is new? Still can't hear you. So let's, nope. Come back, go out, come back in. Tom, you're going to go.
All right, I'll start us off. So my book is, can you see that? The Ruth Ozeki. So Ruth Ozeki is the book of form and oh, Amanda, I love you. This is great. I knew you had prepared everyone a few weeks ago. So this came out last week. I have that right? I think it came out last week. So I am one of the biggest fans of Ruth Ozeki's books. Her first novel was My Year of Meats, but she really hit her stride, I feel like, at least for me as a reader, with her last book, A Tale for the Time Being. It won many awards. It was on the shortlist for the Booker Prize, and it won the LA Times Book Prize. And I adore that book. So first of all, if you haven't read A Tale for the Time Being, pick up the paperback, go back, and it's like, I would say, in the top 5 of my favorite books of all time. I adore that book.
Wow.
So the new book is, it's hard to follow up a book that you love so much, but it was everything that I want from Ruth Ozeki. It's a book of, all of her books have big ideas, but at their heart are the characters that you really fall in love with and want to, see them through whatever they're going through. So in the Book of Form and Emptiness, it's a grieving mother and son. The father and husband dies in the first chapter. And they're struggling with everyday existence. So they're struggling through grief. And so the book is really, at its heart, it's about these two people, a mother and a son, finding their way back to each other through philosophy, poetry, science, and most especially books. So that's the brilliance of Ruth Ozeki. She can talk about these big ideas, but she's telling this very human story. But she does it in this book in a kind of a meta way. There's always something meta going on. So in this book, one of the narrators is the book itself. So the book itself is telling us the story of these two characters. And this book deals with how we're all connected, including, we're connected by the things all around us, this coffee cup and this book. Like, the things themselves are part of our world, that in the case of Benny, who's the boy who's having trouble getting through this time, the things around him, the things are talking, he hears voices, he hears them talking to him. So it's a book, in the end, is about the everything of our lives. It's profound, it's beautiful, it's a masterpiece. And if you haven't discovered Ruth Ozeki, and I feel like she's one of the great writers that many readers still haven't discovered. I mean, if you love David Mitchell, if you love books like that, I think you'll love Ruth Ozeki. Matt Haig calls this one on the cover a triumph, heartbreaking and heart healing. And I completely agree. So Ruth Ozeki's The Book of Form and Emptiness.
How many pages is that, Tom? Looks like a nice big hefty book.
It's pretty It is. It's 500 pages, but
I
at
love
least for
that,
me,
though.
and I read it, in before it was a book. It flew by. I don't know, and you feel like she's one of those writers that, at least for me, makes me feel smarter as I'm reading it. I may not understand every concept she's writing about, but I feel like she makes me feel like I do. She's amazing.
Amanda, you want to say something about it?
Yeah, it's just this is a book for book lovers for sure.
Yeah.
And there's even a character who's suspiciously like Ruth Ozeki in the book, and it takes, like Tom was saying, it takes on big, important, scary themes, but it makes them. It's such an easy read, even though it's dealing with such difficult subject matter, and it also really she really deeply researched the kind of mental phenomena that Benny, the character, goes through. She really deeply researched, and it's also surprisingly funny at times. The whole
Right.
Marie Kondo. There's a Marie Kondo-esque character as well, and anyway, it was just really fantastic. And this is my first Ruth Ozeki, so now I have a bunch of others to look forward to.
There you
You
go.
definitely have to go back. And that's the amazing thing. You can hear it from the way we're both talking about it. There's so much to talk about in this book that she's dealing with, but she somehow manages to do it all. It's incredible. And there's no one like her, and she's funny when you don't expect her to be funny.
And all the characters are awesome. There's even a non-binary ferret.
That's right.
Okay.
Who knew?
On that
Who
note,
That's
note,
brilliant.
sounds like on the non-binary ferret note, we will go to Gabe.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, buddy.
Weird. I
Yeah,
usually
so
can be
strange.
heard. I can usually be heard
Maybe that was me muting you.
with your mind.
My mind bending.
Wishful thinking.
No, I love you, Gabe.
So Resistance, Jennifer Rubin's Washington Post columnist Jennifer Rubin's book here, subtitled "How Women Saved Democracy from Donald Trump," and it is really just a narrative history of 2016 when Trump got elected to 2020 through the midterms, and she points out to all the hard work that women did in the wake of the horror that was the Trump presidency, and how they mobilized various segments. Southern Black women mobilized themselves to make some key voting choices in Georgia. Stacey Abrams was pretty much robbed of an election there. The very first woman's which was millions and millions of women all across the country who got together and they knitted their beanies and all came together in peaceful protest. Millions of women, at the same time all over the country. So it really is just a look at all the work women on both sides of the aisle. A lot of Republican women worked hard against Trump as well. So she really highlights all these people on both sides of the aisle and the heroic work that they did to try to keep America stable, try to save democracy. As in the midterm elections, I just remember everybody saying, thank God, Black women came out and voted in the South, and it made a difference. So we have a power. I think hopefully people have recognized that they have the power of labor through the pandemic and the power of their voice for an election, and really leading in a positive direction. So that's what it is. Jen Rubin, you read her all the time. She's up and around on all the talk shows, usually on the left side. They won't have her on the right, but she gets plenty of airtime and plenty of space in the Washington Post. So we'll be getting some good attention for that. That just came out last Tuesday.
Okay. I just saw a really good thing with, oh God, now I can't think of her name, at 60 Minutes last night. Who's Cheney's daughter?
Lynn Cheney.
Lynn Cheney. And you
Leslie
wouldn't think
Stahl.
that, did you see it?
I did, yeah.
Super interesting. I mean, it's just like we all have to start talking about the end of democracy under Trump. And so that is something
Yeah.
that
She's
Right.
been great. She's been great being ostracized and being attacked by her own side for
Yeah.
being one of
And-
the rational people.
Yeah, and I think that it is something that books like Jennifer's, and we just have to. Our democracy is under attack, everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
truth and the world of truth. We need to get back to believing what is true. So it's like that's just like, oh my God.
Right.
So anyways, okay, Andrea, on that note.
On that note, I'm going to go back to the world of fiction.
Okay, let's go. back to Ted.
Something a little lighter. This is from Muriel Barbary, the
Ooh.
acclaimed best-selling author of The Elegance of the Hedgehog. This is A Single Rose. This is from Europa Editions, and that's $22 hardcover, and that's out tomorrow. There's a nice big stack at Warwick's awaiting your visit, your call, however you want to do it. Bat signal, just go on down there, call, whatever, to get this book. So as I said, this is from the best-selling author of Elegance of the Hedgehog. And this is a story about a middle-aged woman's journey to discover the father that she never knew as she arrives in Japan from France for the reading of his will. So he lived in Japan and had an affair with her mom, who was French, and so she never met him. The father, through his assistant, leads our protagonist on a spiritual journey through Japan, but also there's a buddy romance. And so I'm not going to give it all away, but I just think this is extremely well written. And finally, Barbary is back with the novel. So this dovetails right into her initial readership of Elegance. And I think it's just as good or better as Elegance of the Hedgehog. And it's very exciting to see that she's back. I loved it. My fellow reps loved it. I just think the writing's amazing and lyrical. So check it out. A Single Rose, Muriel Barbary. That's $22 from Europa Editions, and that is out tomorrow, friends.
A
Excellent.
hardback?
Yes, it is. It's a hardcover.
Whoa.
Europa does selected hardcovers for their big guns, and she's definitely one. So
Yeah.
I mean, that was
And-
the one that Elegance of the Hedgehog was like the first big Europa book that I remember. Breaking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, it backlists like crazy. It still sells like, a
It's
lot of
still on-
copies
it's
every
still
year.
on my, I mean, it's like maybe top 15. I'll put it in my top
Okay.
15.
I got to
Because I
get you a
still love
copy
that
of
book.
this.
Yeah, I
I gotta get you a
Elegance of the
copy of
Hedgehog.
this.
I would love it because Elegance of the Hedgehog is still. I love that book. I still remember so much. It was, so you remember books, but that's one that has still
Right.
stayed with me, and the feeling that you
Fantastic
had when
reading.
you read it. Yeah, fantastic. Read.
Yeah.
So,
Really great read.
Yeah.
All right.
And she's back. So it's exciting.
okay, Tom.
Okay. So I think a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the paperback of Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. Well, now they're. I think I mentioned that soon we'd have a new book from Richard Osman, and now it's out. It's out tomorrow. The Man Who Died Twice. So Elizabeth, Joyce, Ron, and Ibrahim, the Thursday Murder Club, are back, and it's all I can say is it's just as much pleasure as the first book, if not more. We're once again at the posh retirement village of Cooper's Chase. They're ready to settle down after the last book and the last case, but of course things don't work out that way. There's more adventure for them, and a mystery to be solved. It's funny. It's super smart. These books are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger because every time I turn around, I'm running into a new bookseller who's become a fan of the first book and now the second book. Readers are loving the new book even more than the first one, and I count Adrian, the buyer, our beloved buyer at Warwick's, as has told me a number of times how much she loved the first one, but this is even better. So can't recommend it enough. And I feel like we set records last year in the UK with the sales. Like they were giving it, he's a phenomenon in the UK especially. But I just read today that the new book is already the fastest selling novel in UK history. So the man who, and it's like all the big bestsellers right now, it is vastly outselling all of them. But partly that's because he's a big star in the UK. He's a television presenter. Everybody knows him and loves him. But I don't think anyone expected him to be writing these novels. And now here he is, this internationally, successful novelist. So pure pleasure. If you want something really fun, pick up the first book and then the second one. You don't have to read, you could read either one.
Either one of them,
independently. Of course, yeah.
And we have access for all of us Warwick's people who follow us. We have access to his event for you, which is next Tuesday, October 6th. It's a free event. So go to, I'll put the link. I think Amanda just put the link up. It was one of the ones I was going to talk about for next week, but join us next week for that. So if you buy the book, I think we'll have we're kind of trying to figure out what's going on with the signed copies of that. I don't know. I think, are we getting some signed stock? I can't remember.
You are getting signed. Yes, the store is getting signed copies.
Okay. So if you order the book while supplies last, you'll get a signed one. But if you go to the website, you can actually just sign up to join the event too. So I saw him on that pre-pub thing that we did, Tom, and he's really funny. So
he'll be. I mean, yeah, he's even through Zoom. His larger than life personality comes through.
And then I saw something on social media, and I can't remember where I saw it, but it was this great article about his mom and how she was like, and all of her friends. I saw that too.
Right, because maybe the germ of the idea came from where his mom is living. Right. I saw that too.
Yeah, and that was really great too. So yeah. So like you said, I think he's just one of those people that these are just going to be those fun caper kind of mystery books that are.
So buy it, get it for yourself, give it as a gift.
Right.
Do it
easy,
all.
Easy gift to give. Easy gift to give. All right. Okay, Gabe, what you got?
I got a pretty big book. I just was noticing I have no fiction today. Usually I'm fiction heavy. But I have so much good nonfiction. This is Bourdain, the definitive oral biography by Lori Woolever. Lori Woolever was Tony's personal assistant and sometimes producer. She pretty much did everything with Tony the last decade of his life, maybe a little longer than that. They were colleagues. They were close friends. She was a confidant. She was present at all the big moments in Tony's world. The last decade of his life, very involved with Tony. So she is one of those very much an insider of Tony's world. And there's a lot of fascination on Bourdain. So we published the book on his travels in the fall or earlier this year, whenever that was, a few months ago, like February or something, with really, really tremendous review attention and popular attention. It continues to get ordered almost on every order I get and I see from my accounts. It's still just selling really, really well. So it's been, over half a year now selling really well. So he's definitely a topic of interest. And this book gets you right into the world of Tony Bourdain. She interviews everybody who he knew, family members, crew, people that worked with them. Eric Repair, who was actually on the trip with him when he passed. He's the person who found him. And it's a really knock your socks off, hard-hitting memoir. It's not, there's some joyous stuff in here, but it's also a really hard-hitting memoir. His relationship with Asia Argento, not to blame anyone, they just were not good together. And everybody's actually interviewed except her on this book. She's the one person who didn't talk to Lori for this biography, interestingly enough. But she had her own demons, and together with Tony, they exacerbated Tony's demons, and he was a bit of a mess towards the end. So it's really sad and tragic reading. Deborah read it, and she was, just like knocked out. She's a big Tony Bourdain fan. She published Waiting about a month after Tony published Kitchen Confidential, and they were on the road together a lot. So she knew Tony as a very sweet man, and we knew Tony as a very giving and sweet guy. And this book just, puts it in perspective and just knocks your socks off. So I think it's going to be a big deal. It comes out tomorrow. There's big stacks everywhere. Adrian bought a huge stack for the store, and I think it's going to go really, really quickly, as he's a very interesting guy. But I'm not going to say too much. Tony's life is, pretty much an open book. This really does get into some insights, though. Pretty brilliant.
Yeah. Like you said, but anything Anthony Bourdain, I mean, and this, honest to goodness, people, buy it now, because it's going to be that gift you're going to want to give. And we are not lying about supply chains. And I already have 3 people, I think, that I've got to buy this for.
Yeah,
that are
We all
complete,
do.
that are
Yeah.
complete
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain fans. And so I'm glad that Adrian got a big stack, but don't take that for granted.
It's bought a bit stacked to reorder, because it's he was a writer. He's a brilliant writer.
He's beloved. I mean, he truly is a beloved, and it's such a tragedy, but everybody clamors for anything that's about him. And so it is, so take it from everybody. I'm not kidding. If we got through last year, I'm not sure we're going to get through this year with books that you really want. So if you see something now, it's a really different year. I mean, it's there's so much. So if you see something, honest to goodness, get it now, and just stuff it away, because you will. This is one I think is going to just fly.
Costco's rationing toilet paper again.
Yep. There you go. That says it all.
The measure.
That's the measure.
That sounds like the same year, though. This is a different year. Toilet paper reminds me of that.
Books. Toilet paper books. It's like somebody said, for rationing, it's just like, buy your books. I know, I can remember. I'm gonna screw it up, so I won't even try. Anyways, Andrea, take it away. take it from me, please.
That's an instant bestseller there for you guys. And it's I think there's going to be a lot of people coming to it. So that's a great gift to pick up now, like everybody was saying. I want to talk about the Socratic method, the practitioner's handbook. This is from Ward Farnsworth. It's $27.95 hardcover cover, and this is out from David R. Godine, one of our fine literary presses. And
I love Godine. He is my new favorite.
And
that
check
cover
out
is
that
incredible.
Look
That
at the
cover
cover.
is incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, sorry for interrupting.
So no. He's the author of the Practicing Stoic, which is another great title in this series, and Farnsworth's Classical English series. And as Farnsworth achieved in those 2 books, ideas of old are made new and vital again in this volume, The Socratic Method. And this book is for those coming to philosophy the way Socrates did, as the everyday activity of making sense out of life and how to live it. So this is for anyone who wants to know what Socrates had to say, and especially about how to live life in a fuller and better way. And let's see, this is what Rebecca Goldstein, author of Plato at the Googleplex, said: "A thinking person's guide to a better life. Ward Farnsworth explains what the Socratic method is, how it works, and why it matters more than why it matters more than ever in our time. Easy to grasp yet challenging to master. The method will change the way you think about life's big questions." A wonderful book. This is something that I think philosophy students will come to. So I know that you have folks in your life that of that category, but I just think anybody, a thinking person, an intellectual, and and it doesn't have to be hardcore, just somebody that thinks a lot and ponders. I think this is a perfect book for them. He has just an amazing way of conveying complex concepts for the lay person, just marvelously. I love his books. I'm reading his The Practicing Stoic right now. And so that's, once again, is the Socratic Method, Practitioner's Handbook. That's $27.95 from David R. Godine. And pick that up at Warwick's.
What's the footprint on that? Is that more a gift size book, or is it a coffee table? What's this, or just a regular trade size?
It's 9 by 6, so it's
Okay.
like kind of a little bit more
Okay.
gifty.
A little more gifty. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. That was a good question.
All right. Yeah, because I love that cover. That cover is fantastic.
He does fun books, Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Lightning round. Tom?
Okay. Should I start us off? Yes.
Although our lightning rounds are
So-
never really lightning, but that doesn't. That's
Yeah.
Well,
You
but
persist.
I don't
but we
know
don't
why I
want to
call
lose
it
the
that.
lightning round.
I don't know why I
It's
call it.
still the lightning round. This is what I love about this and what we do. There are so many different kinds of books we talk about every week, from the most serious to the most fun. And then there are like important books come along, not very often, not often enough, but Anita Hill's Believing is one of those. So this is on sale tomorrow. And so October is the 30th anniversary of her landmark testimony.
30 years?
Yep, in the confirmation hearings of Clarence Thomas. And
Wow.
it's like history has come around now, and the time is right for Anita Hill again to talk to us about what she went through and what she's been doing for the last 30 years, which is teaching, writing. She's a scholar of the subject. So the new book, which is, I said, is on sale tomorrow, it's memoir, it's law, it's social analysis about what the country, needs to do to support survivors of sexual, she calls it gender-based violence. So it's totally relevant, and unfortunately, she became much more in the news and talked about during the Kavanaugh hearings. And then, but through those hearings, a whole new generation of women have learned who Anita Hill is, what she did to stand up against, these powerful white men on the Judiciary Committee 30 years ago. Three of them, at least, three of the most important, are still extremely important in our government. Joe Biden, of course, Chuck Grassley, who's 80, what is he, 88, and he's running again.
What?
He's running again.
No, he's not.
Just committed
Yeah.
to run again.
Yes, he is.
88.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
And then there's Clarence Thomas himself, who's feeling more and more powerful every day. So I'm so happy that, we'll be seeing her on all the network shows. We'll be hearing her on NPR talking about what needs to be talked about, what needs to be discussed. And so I think this is a book that'll be discussed over the next few months as we lead up to the holidays, but also it'll be important for years to come. So that's Anita Hill's Believing, Our 30-Year Journey to End Gender Violence.
Another important one. And I love the title.
I do too. Yeah, and I love the
title.
subtitle. Believing's great, and then I love the subtitle where she says our 30-year journey, not my 30-year journey. It's all of ours.
Yeah.
And
have we really come that far though in 30 years? I'm thinking we haven't. I think we might have slipped back a little bit.
She has a prescription for what we should be doing, and it's and she's speaking directly to people in power like Joe Biden, like Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
And now, unlike then when she wasn't heard, now she's going to be heard.
Yeah, love it. Okay, Gabe, what do you got?
All right, my last book in the bonus round is Black Lives Matter from the New Yorker, writings from the New Yorker. And they've done, the cartoons, they've done various topics that they've filled their pages with by starred writers, historians, social scientists, everybody under the sun, all walks of lives have contributed stories to the New Yorker, and they're pulling out, the stories that, it's quite a long history of stories that they've strung together, and authors, beginning with like probably back James Baldwin writing back in the 50s, Rebecca West contributed something like in the 37 or 38. So there have been writings by Black authors in mainstream intellectual magazines and journals for a long time. Not really a long time. So this is all this is. This is a collection, and it's, it is personal experiences. It is artists writing about their art in a personal sense. It is stories of global importance and global significance. It is, the current moment in time is explored at various moments in time. Jelani Cobb calls this the American Spring. The time we're existing in right now is the American Spring, like the Prague Spring, and that brought about the revolution in '68 in Prague, and then the communist crush, and then the Muslim Spring a few years ago. That seemed like it was going to spark something in the Middle East. But, bringing together reporting, profiles, memoirs, criticisms, writers like Jamaica Kincaid, Malcolm Gladwell, Henry Louis Gates. Not all authors are African American, but the majority are. And it's just, a look at the history, a look at the writings over probably close to 100 years, 80 years or so, of writings about Black lives in America. And as you were talking about right now, have we come forward? Have we moved at all? You watch an old Barney Miller or an old TV show from the 70s or the 60s. You know what? We're having the same conversations. We're having the same labor conversations, environmental conversations. It's scary how little we've evolved. It's only 40 years. Human evolution, Anyways, getting off the topic, brilliant collection. They do a lot of these. They get a lot of attention. Good gift.
Yeah.
Good way to, learn a little bit more. Those books on, how to be an anti-racist, it's a little boring being dictated to and being prescriptive books like that. I think you really got to immerse yourself in the culture, immerse yourself in the world, and feel some of the terrorists.
Exactly. Well, and feel the stories. I just read this great book that's coming out like September of next year called Solita, which is about a 9-year-old little boy who came across, it was like in the 90s, I think, came across by himself because his parents were already up in the United States and his grandparents put him with the coyote. And it's just like, I think you just need the personal stories to build the empathy versus the being dictated to. It's like, you've got to build the empathy. It needs to be the personal stories.
Exactly.
And I think that books like you just described are, what we need. So, all right, Andrea. What do we got?
Thanks for that, Gabe. I have a children's book. This is, can you see that?
Yeah.
My dog Banana.
This is My Dog Banana. This is from Greystone
Andrea,
Kids.
can I just stop you for 1 second? Always ending us on a good note here.
I love it.
Well, there's some serious stuff on all of our lists, and we need a little levity from the kids lists here. This is from Greystone Kids, our Canadian press, and one of our Canadian presses, and they're doing some great kids books. Basically, let me just say it's $17.95. It is in stores now, and basically, a child takes a dog for a walk, at least so the child insists, but no one else sees a dog; they see a banana. So basically, perception is all in this story. And 4-year-olds are going to crack up, and any adults who are reading it are going to as well. So, that's not a dog, that's a banana at the end of your leash. Open your eyes. Clearly, she's a dog. So, and then it becomes, more people show up, and no one can see the dog, and they're all laughing, and other dogs show up and they're all laughing at this little boy. And then he stalks off in a huff and goes, come on, Banana. They know nothing about dogs. So I love that, like, he's confident from, his own perspective. And then at the end, Banana barks. Woof, woof.
Banana bark.
Yeah. And then this is the faces of all the people that were laughing, just like, oh, well. So this is a
Joke's on
great
them.
little, yep, it's a great little read aloud, and I love it. It's a favorite, and I also think that booksellers are going to have a fun time hand selling this book to people. So that's My Dog Banana. It's $17.95 hardcover, and that's in stores now.
Love it. Okay,
You took us
everybody.
home, Andrea. You took us home. That was
I
great.
know. I
That was
love taking
great.
it home. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to show you a couple events that we got coming up. Hold on. Let me see if I'm on the right screen here. Gabe, you're the pro at this. I am the rookie. But
I hit the share screen button.
hit the share screen button. Thanks for the tip. So here we go.
That's why you muted Gabe earlier.
Exactly. See, and I did it telepathically because I knew it was coming. Okay, look at that right there. Okay, Steven Pinker, Rationality. He's going to be on tomorrow with Adam Grant. So Rationality, what it is, why it seems scarce, why it matters. I think there again, another book, just what we're going through right now. Two great brains, Steven Pinker and Adam Grant. So, and that actually has a free component too to it. So click there. Trisha Yearwood's going to talk about her in the kitchen with Trisha. So she's got an event coming on Wednesday. Our big first in-person event with Anthony Dorr on Friday, Cloud Cuckoo Land at USD. Just so anybody knows, USD has for their events proof of vaccination. So keep that in mind if you're going to want to come out to the event. But he's going to give he's got a PowerPoint presentation that is, I'm sure, not to be missed. I haven't talked to a bookseller yet that has read this, that has not been over the moon about that book. So,
I haven't either. Everyone adores it.
I love that book. And just some other things happening this week, next week. We got all kinds of stuff going on. And Osmond is not on here, but we do have an event with him next week. So let me just show you that real quick. I wasn't lying, Tom. I really wasn't lying. I'll just show you his page real quick too. So The Man Who Died Twice next Wednesday.
Oh, there it is.
It's actually at 1 p.m. because he is on the across the pond, as they say. So there's your book and event. So there we go.
It's crazy
Awesome.
that's selling more than all the classics.
Right. Or just in England, like just who other authors are there too. It's just like, I think that's fantastic. So
yeah.
There we go. Okay, everybody. Amanda, do you have any last words? You popped back on. You have some last words you want to say here?
I just really quick wanted to read from the New York Times article about Cloud Cuckoo Land. They have this great sentence. It says, "It pulls off a resolution that feels both surprising and inevitable, and that compels you back to the opening of the book with a head shake of admiration at the Swiss watchery of its construction." This book is like,
that's a great phrase.
It's like a masterpiece. It's a clockwork contraption of stunning design.
Brilliance. It's brilliant.
Oh,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, he'll blow your mind when he talks about it.
But here's the thing too that I want to tell people: don't be afraid of it though, because as you're reading it, it's not, for me, it took me about 50 pages. I'll be honest, it took me about 50 pages to like really sink in and go, okay, here we go. Some people who like right off the bat, but yeah, don't be afraid of it. It's big, it's great. He makes it all accessible in its brilliance. So there we go. Okay, happy reading, everyone. We will see everybody next week. There's lots more good stuff coming next week too. So tune in, and thank you, Tom, Andrew, and Gabe, and Amanda.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.